this is an unconventional way that I am printing my unit, or we're doing the space unit. This is not our normal, but we're having to make do. So I will then show you when I take it upstairs. This is just my teacher guide for next week. I didn't do all of it yet. I'm gonna do it in sections because it's taking a while. But I will show you then what my process is when I get it upstairs. Hi, thanks for joining me and coming back to my channel to watch this. So I am filming a video to show you how I prep my student workbooks, teacher manual, and in this case also cursive workbooks for Gather Round Homeschool. I just came from downstairs. I was printing. We have an old printer that I'm fortunate enough to be able to use, that I printed my boys and I printed our curriculum. So we are starting space. We finished Asia week before last. Last week. We've been on spring break and we start back on Monday with space. I chose cardstock this time. I got it off Amazon. I got a couple of reams of it. And I can just tell you like the difference. Here's my Asia teacher manual. And I have these rings. I'm going to show you how I do this. But I'm going to change it this time. And this one had coffee spilt all over it, but it held up nicely. I mean, I use this every day and, you know, open and close. And, but I'm going to change it. But for this one, I have my clip. I'm literally going to clip my previous one and then pop out these rings to reuse. So you're only having to invest in these rings once. And they are really seated in there too. So I'm going to be doing this for each one. I'm probably just going to do this first one just for an example for you. I'm not going to make you watch me do like oodles of these, but it's the same concept every single time. And that way then you can reuse them. I just did fun, all colors, just to make it something simple. And then I will put this in the stack with my children's workbooks and mine, and we will have it stored. I've seen some folks when they have it bound at like Barnes and Noble Press, they will just have them stacked and they look beautiful like books. But that isn't really a practical thing for me. I'm looking at the most cost-effective way of doing this. And we have an option of being able to do it in print for a very economical way. So now I have all of my little discs here. And I put them to the side. I have this arc. None of this is sponsored either by any of this. This arc, look at paper punch, and it's gonna punch these holes that I'll show you. And I'm gonna start just picking one of my stack. I have a huge stack over here. This one is normally an 8-page. So I'm gonna roughly get that. And this one, it is a little bit different because I am doing holes in a different spot. Just too many. Cardstock. The first unit we did North American Birds first. I went and had it bound at Office Max and it was great, but it was just expensive. So punch the hole. It makes these shape holes. See if it'll focus on those shape, to which these discs sit right into, just like that. So I'm just gonna do that for all of them. I am choosing to do these on the top this time because I have a left-hander and a right-hander, and just kind of keeps it out of the way. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I get these all lined up so I don't have a whole book of ones out of the way. Hey bud. One of my little guys here with me. And even if it does get a little wonky, I'm not like super particular. So I'm gonna just continue. I'm doing my smallest book that I have. It's the cursive workbook for space. I purchased that as an additional add-on. Even though there's still quite a bit of writing, I think I just might have jacked up all of my pages. I'm gonna have to go back and count them. It's That's just how I roll, folks. So this is what works for our family. It's not like the only way. I'm in the Gather Round Homeschool group, and there are so many people that have just fantastic ideas. And get these in order here, and I'll show you. I'm glad I noticed that instead of putting the whole thing together. Just pay attention to what you're doing. Alright, so there's that. And pretty good. Lined up pretty well. I'm just going to start doing this. Okay, so to get this going, I usually start with one on any side, whatever. This one I'm not going to do a particular pattern. I can link this punch that I got. I just bought it on Amazon. And the discs, I think the discs were $15. My mind's eye, they're like from the Happy Planner. And again, like there's no sponsor or affiliate links or anything for me. Just another mom trying to help anybody out that I can to make this a sustainable, practical way for you to incorporate this in your homeschool for your children. There is always the gamut of questions and things. Is this enough? And I can just only speak for my experiences and things with this and how much it has just changed our homeschool and our lives. Opened up our eyes. I have learned so much, and the retention is there. All of it's there. I got a little off on that one, but here's this in here. And so then I will flip it open, get the intro, daily schedule, and then letter formation, but just it's out of the way, and they're not gonna have to take it out. I mean, they could take it out. I can take these out and put them right back if I need to, but it's just gonna help keep those little hands from running into the sides of the discs. So I'm going to do this for all of my units and all of my workbooks, and then I will pop back on and show you how they all look and how the process went, and if I got them. This one's just a tiny bit off, but yeah, that's it. So then my next step after I have done all of my discs, every week I kind of go through and look at what each child at each level, because I have a middle schooler, an upper elementary, and a pre-reader, and I go through and see what topics are being covered, because then we build upon those. There have been days that I might just go with what is in my teacher manual, and that be it. If it's like a really hard day, whatever it is, and consider that enough. But I typically use those as springboards and go and build upon those, and we enrich with, we have lots of books. So my first step is going to go to all of my bookshelves and pull all of my space books. For that is the unit that we're doing, because we've looked at random, different space things over the past and all of our years of this, but we've never done anything as cohesive and in-depth as this. So I'll pull all of my resources that I have here. And then if I feel like there's still an area that I need more, or maybe another chapter book for my middle schooler, then I will look at Amazon. The libraries are closed, so I can't right now with the COVID stuff, so I can't go to the library. I also have Audible that I can use as a potential source for that, but I also have the library app. I can do it electronically and check out some books for free if I need to. We love audiobooks here. We are listening to the Harry Potter books right now as a family, so it's really fun. So each weekend looking at, what is each child, because, as they progress in this, the depth and the amount of things that they're learning, it just builds. So my pre-reader kindergartner is not going to be learning near as advanced and in-depth things as my middle schooler, obviously. But we use these, and I will intermingle YouTube videos, National Geographic, websites, Wikipedia, all of those things to just build. Okay, and if there's some particular component that is like everyone is all about and wanting to know, I will then find extra resources of things to help them learn. So whatever it is, we chase rabbit trails. I fully believe in rabbit trails. I had so many box curriculums in the past that quenched that spirit and didn't have time for that because it was so much busy work. And there is the ability to breathe and ability to do and go wherever we are led to go and whatever my kids are interested in that day. And it is still then gives us a home base of, okay, here's where we started, and then we chase those trails. Like, I know for Monday, I'm super excited about the Hubble telescope. We've briefly looked at pictures of that before, but I want to find a documentary. I also use like Disney Plus. When we had Netflix, I would use Netflix, but whatever resources I can to engage and build knowledge, I'm going to do, whether that involves even an app of whatever it is. I'm all about a balance and moderation of teaching them safe internet research habits, because there are points where they're going to have to go research, where they're going to research Galileo or Isaac Newton, whatever it is in your particular unit that you're doing with Gather Round, that they will be, supervised here with me, and we have a computer in our schoolroom, or we have a laptop that we can go wherever. But it is a life skill that they've got to have, to be able to know where information is, find it, how to know what is safe and what is good, and teaching them safe practices to be able to find the information that they need, because that is how we learn. Lifelong learners, that's what I want. So all of that to say, I go every week. This is not a necessity, this is just what I do, because I like to check the boxes. I just take it day by day and the topics that we're talking about, and make sure these are the ones that I absolutely want to hit. And if I pull up a website or do a YouTube, I write the names of those beside it, so that I can then go back if there's, oh, do you remember in that video or when we talked about such and such, the Hubble telescope, where did we, whatever, where did we find it? Just this ability to track it back, but also show like where we're getting our information. And again, none of this isn't this isn't necessary. This is just how I do it. And again, all of these are my opinions, paid my own money for all of this. Nothing was sponsored or given to me. I just am so passionate. If it has changed my life, there are many more of you out there that are at the end of your rope that it can change yours too, and make homeschool have like a breath of fresh air and breathe new life into it, and make it feel fun again and joyful, and just see your kids learning and spouting out things to people that they then look at me or you and they're like, where they learn that? Oh, we learned that in our study of blue jays. Just the things that you're like, oh, this is space. How are you going to learn about language arts? How are you going to learn about geography? All of those things, it's all here. You just have to trust it. Just let go of the control. It is enough. Because why are we using some other basis of our education and our tools to assess our kids' learning when those tools don't equip them fully? I'm not getting on that soapbox now. So I am going to pause for a second. I'm going to go and do all of my little things, and I will pull all of my books, and then I will show you what I have and how I'm going to kind of sort those things, and then go from there. So sit tight. All right, so you saw my time lapse. I finally figured out my system of what works for me and getting these guys done, but I mean, you saw me. It's awesome, and I can sew, like, cardstock is where it's at. I mean, look how beautiful that is. I love it. So I have my guide, I have cursive for my older boys, and then their books, or pre-reader, upper elementary, middle school. So these are all books that I have had from our previous discussions on space. And so I haven't bought any of this. If I want to enrich and add anything else, I will. But what I do is I have these plate, my kids were playing with them like swords the other day, so they're not in here. But what I do with those is I have them either on the table, or I have a bookshelf over behind our in our schoolroom. I will display these books. So say this one, or actually probably this one, question and answers about space. This is a lot of these are Usborne books and some other ones. but I will open it up to whatever topic we're talking about and have it on that little plate rack. Literally, I got them at Pier 1. I think they were like $1, like less than $2 a piece. And I'll even display them on our mantle in the living room sometimes or wherever. But just getting them and like, okay, like whatever topic. I've done this with books from all different sorts of things. It just makes it accessible. Oh, look, there's that. If they're walking by, oh, let me see what that is. And oh, you want to ask me a question? Okay, bring it over. And I often will have them like with me at the table each day. So I have a fun little book that is a story, Ludwig the Space Dog. And there's space goggles inside, just anything fun with the theme. I have some other ideas. I can't say right now because my kids are in the other room. This beautiful book is like a library bound. I'd never owned a library bound book before, but I have a friend that is an Usborne book consultant, I guess. I did Usborne books like way back many years ago. So these are just some of the ones I have. Question and answers about space. It's a lift the flap book. They can come and lift the flaps. Again, nothing is sponsored, y'all. I just want to help someone out. If another mama out there or family can benefit from what I'm saying. I love Usborne books. Like there is some controversy. Like some of their things I will not use just with some things don't line up with my beliefs. So I'm very careful about some of the books that I choose, but I also purposefully sometimes just get books that I know that are going to have things that don't line up with our beliefs because I can't put my kids in a bubble. They have to be exposed and be able to form their own opinions, and you know, me and my husband influence and tell why we believe what we do and what the Bible says, and you know, all of those things. So another cool thing about Usborne books is a lot of these ones, like this one and some of these other ones, they're internet linked. So there's a website in the back that you can go to, and it has some other interactive resources that you can utilize to just build upon that knowledge. The Story of Astronomy and Space. I have Living in Space that we'll use. It's like we'll use on the road. The Solar System, Planet Earth. I mean, I've had these books for years. And some of these small ones, the moon seems to change. What makes day and night? The sun and the moon. The planets in our solar system. I'm going to assign this one as a read, a chapter book read for my middle schooler. Along Came Galileo. And then every day we will do Indescribable, a devotional from Louis Giglio. That we've been reading this for a while. Just go back through it. I love it. This is in a nutshell what we do. I also have to keep attendance record for my state. And so I have that is just continued on, that I will punch some holes in the top. See, it's got coffee stains all over. Punch holes in the top, and I move it manual to manual so that I just have it there. And then when I pack up all of our curricula for the year, it's in there, and all of our dates are there, our X's for, you know, whatever. And a side tip, if you have a grid and you are keeping attendance that way, write numbers in it. I think my very first go at doing that in my book, I just was doing checks and I had to go back and count. I'm like, duh, why not write the number of the day? Like before we stopped for spring break, we were on day 150. So, but remember, it doesn't matter like where I'm at and where we are. I mean, today is March 27th, it's a Friday. But we started in July, like July 1st. But I do that because we take breaks. So I'm trying to decide for our upcoming year, like this space unit is our last one for our current school year. And then we'll take some time off and come back in June. And I'm not sure if we're going to do 4 days a week and then have like field trips every Friday, or 5-day weeks, have a week off every, you know, after we finish each unit, and then do all of our field trips then. So I'm going to talk to my kids and see what would work best for them, because either one will work for me. But it also really just depends on the availability of what's there. We have memberships to lots of places. I have a whole like slew, like a whole list of field trips that I had thought would be a good idea, but given that we can't do any of them, we're going to make the most of it. And even if we have to go a little late to some things, we'll do that too. So these are my ramblings and my opinions and thoughts. What I say is not what works for you. You know what works for you. I will link the hole puncher, the discs, this curriculum, and I can't think of anything else that I need to link. If there's something that you have a question about, shoot me a comment below. I'll also link here what, one of these sides, the, how this curriculum has changed our lives. But if you want to flip through, I have North American birds, Asia, and space thus far. I'm going to be purchasing the other ones because they are on sale. And going ahead and have those files while they're on sale so I can just get them together. If you have questions, let me know and I will try to answer them. I'm also hoping to film a video of my smart board. We were fortunate enough to be able to have one of those. It is a cool, you know, extra. It's not a necessity by any means, but it's been a really cool resource to have, to utilize for bringing some things to life. My kids learn very differently. So for my kinesthetic ones and visual, it really, really helps because I usually pop up whatever we're learning on the back behind me, and it's interactive and it's really cool. So I'll have to do a video for that so you can watch my channel. Make sure you subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And click the little bell so you get notifications of our subsequent videos that we upload from here. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.